You found yourself on another edition of Let 'em Know Kings United, and on today's episode, the Cleveland Cavaliers get redemption as Donovan Mitchell scored 32 as the Cavaliers beat the Bucks for their 9th win in their last 10 games in a potential playoff preview between two of the best teams in the Eastern Conference. We get to break down the Cavaliers win coming up on Let 'em Know Kings United.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is that time for the post-game reaction podcast of the Cleveland Cavaliers, Sacramento Kings, and the Chicago Bulls. This is Let 'em Know Kings United. Let 'em know, Nation. You already know what time it is. Welcome to another edition of Let 'em Know Kings United, your Sacramento Kings, Chicago Bulls, and Cleveland Cavaliers post-game reaction podcast. And I'm your host, Carlo Weisberg. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's show. And you can find Let 'em Know Kings United, which is 100% completely free and available on Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Radio Public, Pandora, wherever else you want to listen to this show. Give the show a follow on those platforms. If you could please turn on your notifications so you know about the next episode. Please rate, spread the word out to your friends, and give Let 'em Know Kings United a 5-star review on whatever podcast platform you're listening to this on. It is a great way to support the podcast, and I appreciate every single one of you for tuning in. I don't know about you guys, but I'm loving this 2-game in 3 days mini playoff series, because to me, especially when you are considering these two teams that recently played that played against each other, our Cleveland Cavaliers and the Milwaukee Bucks. And for any team that made the playoffs last year, or basically any team besides Washington, San Antonio, Detroit, Portland, whatever the case may be, that will likely contend for the playoffs or even make the playoffs at season's end, it gives an opportunity for teams to practice what it's going to be like in the playoffs. Because more specifically, if you are a team like the Cleveland Cavaliers, right, they won 51 games last year. They were the number 4 seed in last year's playoffs, and then they got smoked by the New York Knicks in the first round when New York grabbed every single freaking rebound under the sun, and we were just not tough and physical to crash the offensive and defensive glass. But whatever the case may be, JB Bickerstaff considered 2 road matchups with the Milwaukee Bucks in the span of 3 nights, an opportunity to prepare his team for the postseason. And the first matchup, clearly Milwaukee won the game, as obvious. If you didn't catch my reaction to Milwaukee winning, check that out. I said with a new interim head coach in Joe Prunty, the Milwaukee Bucks had more energy than the Cleveland Cavaliers. In this case, the Cleveland Cavaliers responded by showing how could they make adjustments and bounce back and produce the kind of adjustments they need to make it in a playoff series, as the Cleveland Cavaliers bounced back nicely with a 112-100 win, winning 9 of their previous 10 games. And Donovan Mitchell was doing his thing tonight. And I mean, he was doing his thing. I mean, he's not an all-star starter. He should have been an all-star starter, but if any coach in the National Basketball Association, including JB Bickerstaff, this is on you, JB. If you do not vote your man, Donovan Mitchell, to be an all-star, I don't know what you're doing. And speaking of all-star, Jared freaking Allen has been a double-double machine as of late. What is it, like 13 or 14 straight consecutive double-doubles? This man has been hooping since Darius Garland and Evan Mobley been out. I mean, if there's any guy that deserves to be the MVP of the Cleveland Cavaliers' recent run, you need to make a case for Jared Allen for team MVP. Like, come on now. The Cavs gained a measure of revenge after their 8-game win streak ended with a 10-point loss on Wednesday night, 126 to 116 was the score there. 112 to 100 was the score last night, as Jared Allen finished with 24 points and 14 rebounds. And like I said at the top of the show, the Cleveland Cavaliers have won 9 of their previous 10. JB Bickerstaff said you want to prepare for it as if it's a playoff game and use it as a practice. We still have young guys who haven't played a ton of playoff basketball. We want to give them that experience, how we studied, how we prepared, what we did yesterday, what happened at shoot-around. We wanted to use it as kind of a dry run for us. So speak for what a playoff game would look like. And I admire JB Bickerstaff for that, because there's a lot of young guys on this team, a lot of talent on this Cleveland Cavaliers team. Don't get me wrong. Don't disrespect the talent that the Cleveland Cavaliers got now. They still got a really, really young team. And for a young team like Cleveland, right, there were some guys who haven't been in the playoffs. I mean, Donovan Mitchell's been there once or twice. Jared Allen has been there once and twice. Max Strus, he's the more experienced guy when it comes to the NBA playoffs. I mean, he went to the NBA Finals with the Miami Heat last season. So if there's any guy that understands what it's like to make it in the playoffs, it's probably either Max Strus or Donovan Mitchell. But I really love the fact, and I love JB's perspective here, that this game is like a dry run for what would it be like in the playoffs. And if that was the case, I think Cleveland did an amazing job of making adjustments throughout the game, and they were in complete control from start to finish for the most part. I mean, sure, Milwaukee made the runs as expected. At one point, Connaughton made a couple of threes to make a 9-point deficit to 1 at one point, but the Cavaliers responded with 11 straight buckets to grab an 89-77 advantage, and they stayed ahead the rest of the way. So Milwaukee, I credit them. I mean, they got some studs. Right? Damian Lillard, Dame Dollar, Dame Tom. You know what he's capable of. And by the way, to all of you who voted Damian Lillard as an all-star starter, I am sorry. I got to tell everybody the truth right now. Damian Lillard deserves to be an all-star reserve. I mean, that's just my opinion. I mean, he's been inconsistently inconsistent all year long. I mean, Jalen Brunson for the New York Knicks, he deserves to be an all-star starter right now. If you are a Knicks fan and if you are a Jalen Brunson fan, I would flip my freaking lid right now. You probably might know what I'm talking about, because Jalen Brunson deserves more to be an all-star starter than Damian Lillard, but that's beside the freaking point. The All-Star voting, at least the starting lineup, is done, and I can't really argue with it. I disagree with the Eastern Conference All-Star starters. I am in complete agreement with the Western Conference All-Star starters: Kevin Durant, Nikola Jokic, Luka Doncic, SGA, and LeBron, Raymond, James. I completely agree with all of them. Speaking of Giannis Antetokounmpo, the team captain for the Eastern All-Stars, he had 22 points, 11 assists, and 9 assists to end his string of 2 straight double-doubles. Joe Prunty, on an assistant on Griffin's staff, worked as the interim coach for those 2 games. The Bucks announced in the last minute of this game that they hired Doc Rivers as the permanent replacement for Adrian Griffin, and Doc Rivers will be making his coaching debut on Monday night when the Milwaukee Bucks take on the Denver Nuggets, the reigning defending undisputed NBA champions. As far as Jared Allen, what he feels like after the win, he said, we felt like a step behind last game. I don't think we were ready to play when we did the tip ball. Tonight we came out with energy that we believe we could play with, and the defense that we were supposed to play too. And you know what? I agree with Jared Allen. On Wednesday night, I thought the Cleveland Cavaliers were a little sluggish. Yeah, they made their run at times, but overall, I thought the Milwaukee Bucks had more energy than them, and Milwaukee took advantage of the Cavaliers' slow pace. This game, the tables were turned a little bit as Cleveland showed energy, Cleveland showed toughness, Cleveland showed poise, especially on the defensive end. That was absolutely immaculate last night, and Milwaukee was the team that was a step slow. Bobby Porter said it wasn't them. It was us. I think we slowed ourselves down. We were attacking matchups. We weren't playing side to side. The ball wasn't moving side to side. We played a lot of one-on-one. The ISO game is not going to get it done. The ISO game is not going to get it done in this league. You got to have to learn ball movement. You're going to have to learn cuts. You got to learn screens. Milwaukee, you are still a dangerous team. You're 31-14, 20-5 at home. I'm going to give you respect because you are a really good team. But the way that you played one-on-one against the Cleveland Cavaliers, it ain't gonna happen. But with Doc Rivers as the head coach of the Milwaukee Bucks, I gotta keep it 100 with y'all. The Milwaukee Bucks single-handedly handed the Cleveland Cavaliers the Central Division. I mean, Doc Rivers hasn't won a damn thing since he won the NBA championship in 2008 with the Boston Celtics. The last time that Doc Rivers was considered to be a good coach, he should have stayed as an ESPN commentator, to be honest. But Milwaukee, good luck to you. You're going to need it. Good win overall for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Way to respond after a tough loss on Wednesday night. Way to bounce back. Way to make adjustments. If it was a tune-up of the playoffs, like I said, the Cleveland Cavaliers passed the test with flying colors. They shot 41% from the field, 38% from three, 71% from the free throw line for the Bucks, 40% from the field, 38% from three, 70% from the free throw line. You can argue 71%. So both teams shot 71% for the free throw line. Both teams rebounded the ball 51 straight times, but the difference was 15-12 in favor of the offensive rebound advantage for Cleveland. The assist number, slight advantage for Milwaukee, 21-20. The steals were 7-6 Cavs. The blocks were 8-4 Cavs. The points in the paint, a 10-point advantage for Cleveland, 44-34. And the fast break points, another 10-point advantage for Cleveland, 20 for the Cavs compared to 10 for the Milwaukee Bucks. As who stood out, Donovan Mitchell, All-Star reserved, possibly 32 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, a steal, and a big-time block, shooting 12 of 27 for the field, 6 of 12 from three-point range. Jared Allen, if he's not an all-star, I don't know what I'm going to do. I might have to even record a ranting episode if Jared Allen does not make it to the All-Star game. But he's proving to me why you should be considered to be an All-Star. 24 points, 14 rebounds, assists and a steal, and 2 big-time blocks. Another double-double for him. Max Strus, 11 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 of 7 from three-point range. Off the bench, Karis LeVert stepped up with 12 points, 5 assists and a steal. George Niang off the bench with 10 points, 3 of 5 from the field. For the Milwaukee Bucks, Giannis Antetokounmpo, I mean, you can't stop him. 22 points, 11 rebounds, 9 assists, a steal, and a block. We did a really good job of containing him, not letting him score 30. But overall, Giannis was going to get his. Damian Lillard, 22 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, and a steal. He shot 7 of 24 for the field. Chris Middleton, 14 points, 5 of 16 shooting, 8 rebounds, 8 assists, 2 steals. Malik Beasley, 27 minutes, only one shot, 3 points, and that 3 came in late in the fourth quarter? I would say good defense by the Cleveland Cavaliers, but Malik Beasley, what are you doing? What are you doing? You're one of the best three-point shooting options for the Cleveland Cavaliers, and you didn't have the gall to get a shot up? You talk about selfish basketball right there. My God. Bobby Porter's 12 points off the bench with 8 rebounds and a steal. And one more thing that I'm going to mention here. The only player for the Milwaukee Bucks that was efficient all game long was Giannis Antetokounmpo. Everybody else struggled for the field. 5 of 16 for Chris Middleton. Brook Lopez who had a double-double of 11 points and 12 rebounds. 4 for 14 from the field for Brook Lopez. 7 of 24 for Damian Lillard. I mean, that's not going to get it done. That is not going to get it done. I mean, the rest of the Bucks starting lineup, I think everybody needs to hit the weight room or get some extra reps in, because that was absolutely ridiculous that the Greek Freak was the only player that was efficient for them. That's not going to get it done. If this was the playoffs right now, it would be the first round exit for the Milwaukee Bucks. So Milwaukee's got a lot to learn. As far as Cleveland, great bounce back. Great way to respond. Way to put in the work and make adjustments, because when it comes to playoffs, it's about making adjustments, and in this game, Cleveland did that, and the hottest team in the NBA continues to roll as the Cleveland Cavaliers won 9 of their last 10 games. They got a big-time all-star caliber matchup at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse on January 29th against the LA Clippers, and you know me, I'm going to be locked the hell in for that one. Kawhi Leonard versus Donovan Mitchell, Paul George versus Donovan Mitchell, like, come on! I mean, I'm already excited for this one. Can Monday come already? In any event, that's going to do it for today's edition of Let 'Em Know Kings United. You can find this show on Amazon Music, Google Podcast, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Radio Public, Pandora, or wherever else you want to listen to this show. Give the show a follow on those platforms. Turn on your notifications so you know about the next episode. Please rate, spread the word out to your friends, and give Let 'Em Know Kings United a 5-star review on whatever podcast platform you're listening to this on. I am your host, Skylar Weisberg. Thank you so much for tuning in as always, and I will see you right back here for another edition of Let 'Em Know Kings United.